share the rest in the class. All right, so let me just share my screen. I hope you can still hear me.
Yes, I can.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Okay, so yesterday we talked about the basics of digital marketing, and we talked about its importance. We talked about the different channels and techniques via which you can actually execute your digital marketing skills for your business. And so today we're actually going to start by talking about your target audience. So there's a certain kind of customer, or there's a certain kind of client that you want to have come to your business. So you need to have a picture of what that kind of client will be or look like. And so you definitely need to have a customer kind of analysis. And usually that happens in two ways. Is either when you're setting up the business, you actually have something in mind already, or based on the people that have already patronized your business, you now actually have something that you can actually work with. All right, so we're talking about the target audience analysis. And this is very important if you are trying to target, if you are running paid ads, or if you're going to do any form of marketing, there's a certain kind of clientele that you know will, be your biggest customers. They say in business, they say that 20% of your customers bring in 80% of your business. So there are some certain kinds of people who come to your business every time, and then there are those who come once a while. Okay, so all this is still part of your target audience analysis. So this will also be heavily dependent on the location of your business. So if your hotel or your restaurant is located in a certain place, that would determine the kind of target audience that will most likely come to your business. So if your restaurant, for example, is in a business area, so that means you should expect a lot of workers, especially during their break time, to come over to your business to actually, take advantage of it. If your hotel is near an airport, that you also know that there are a lot of travelers who would also want to be coming to your hotel as well. So all these are just the little bits of target audience analysis you should have in mind. All right, so this is an example of, this is for restaurants, for example, specifically on restaurants. So if somebody is doing a target audience identification, okay, so you are targeting a specific group of people most likely to dine at your restaurant, for example. So this is just an example. And you are looking for preferences. You want to understand the kinds of people that are coming to your business so that you can tailor your marketing strategy to fit those people. So, for example, you have people who are foodies, people who just want to try out new dishes just for the sake of the experience. So, you have some people who they just have their friends and they are going out and they just want to be able to, have fun, try out different clubs, different places, and they really just want to be part of the, whole scene. Okay, sorry, someone is trying to join, so let me admit the person. Okay, so that's the whole essence of foodie. So you need to know those kinds of people, and it's not just for restaurants, for hotels as well. If a hotel has a reputation for having very good food, they will definitely show up. Okay, then the next set of people are families. So people who probably on the weekends or on special occasions, they are going out and want to have a family-friendly meal. Okay, meals that can cater to themselves and their kids as well. Then, of course, you have young professionals. These are individuals seeking quick, convenient, and trendy dining dining options during work hours. So during their break time, they quickly just want to have a place to eat. All right. And then, of course, you have health conscious diners. So this is an example of an audience identification for a restaurant. If it's for a hotel, obviously it will be different. There are different kinds of people who are coming to your hotel. So you need to be able to identify these people, and this will help you in targeting your marketing campaign. It wouldn't make sense for you to be targeting a specific set of people who are not in your immediate vicinity. So a hotel, for example, who is trying to target maybe students, and you don't have any um, institution that is close to you, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, or if your hotel is primarily in a residential area and you're now targeting people who are workers, it will not make any sense. So it will only make sense if your hotel is in a commercial area, there are lots of business people there, then you now know that, okay, these are the people you're actually targeting. All right. So you want to be very, very specific in who you are targeting so that you don't waste money. Now, what are the three things you should consider if you're trying to define your audience? The demographic. Okay, you need to know their age, you need to know their income level, you need to know their location. So, for example, I've run several ads, and when I run an ad, I put into consideration the age. Definitely. So recently I ran an ad for people who want to travel to Canada, for example. And I know usually the age bracket for such people who are interested are usually from 25 years upwards. That's not to say people who are below 25 years may not be interested, but most likely they may not have the financial capability of actually taking advantage of the offer. They may have to rely on their parents and all that. So instead of me waiting for the person to see my ad and go and tell his or her parents or guardian, I'd rather just target the guardians and the parents directly. So I ran the ad mainly for people who, of course, are workers. Definitely, if you are still a student or you are not, you don't have the financial capability, you may not be able to take advantage of it. Then location too matters. So if your hotel or if your business is in a certain location, it makes plenty sense to target people within that location first. That's not to say you shouldn't target outside your environment, but those are the people that you really want to have come to your business frequently. Then the next thing you should think about is the psychographics. Okay, their interests, their values, their lifestyle, and their attitudes. Okay, so you really need to sit down and think about these things. You can put yourself in that person's position that, okay, I have a hotel. What kind of people would want to come to my hotel? What are their motivations? Why would they want to come? What is it that they're what would bring them to my hotel? What sort of lifestyle do they have? Okay, what sort of attitude do they have that will make them want to come to my hotel? These are the kind of questions you should be asking. Behaviors as well. Okay, you focus on when, you focus on why, you focus on how often. Okay, so these are all the things that you need to have at the back of your mind. Now, the good thing about it, and just like I showed you yesterday, there are a lot of tools that can help you take care of this. So in fact, we are going to be looking at Facebook ads today in depth, and you'll get to see how all these things are defined for you already. Okay, are you with me so far? Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, all right, so that's fine. So three things you should know as a digital marketer. These are the three things you should be thinking about in terms of targeting your adverts or your marketing campaign. You need to consider, who am I going to be marketing to? What is my target audience? And this is not just for the hospitality industry. You should be thinking for any kind of business. You need to target the right people, or else you end up wasting funds. The budgets that you have for your marketing, if you don't target correctly, if you don't really take time to analyze who exactly do I want to come to my business, then you end up wasting a lot of money. All right. So let's take a look at the guest persona. Okay. So this is an example of a fictional person that you are expecting to come to your hotel. Let's assume it's a hotel that you have. This is somebody who we call Adventure Annie. So this is somebody who just likes to travel, see new places. So this person is 28 years old, travels by his or herself, loves hiking and photography, is looking for an eco-friendly stay with unique local experiences and finds places through Instagram and YouTube reviews. So this is a guest persona. Okay, so why does it matter? It helps you to tailor your content and ads and offers more effectively. So if I'm going to run an ad for such a person, I will write my content looking like this. For example, say, are you looking for a new place to travel? Do you want to have a new adventure? An eco-friendly stay where you have unique local um, experiences. All right. Why don't you come over to a hotel at so place that. So you try to tailor it to such people, the language that they speak. They want to have adventure, they want to travel, they want to make new friends, they want to meet new people. Those are the kind of things that you are looking for. Okay, and that's the kind of message that you pass across. Or if your guest persona is business, maybe we can call it a business boss. Okay, you can just give it a particular name, and these are business people. These are people always on the move who travel from state to state. Maybe they're like in their 30s or in their 40s. They have like several businesses, or their company is such that they travel from place to place. So you target your message towards such people that, okay, we have solid um, internet. We help you with your travel logistics. If you land at the airport, we have an added service of picking you up from the airport. We try and create a message that would appeal to those kinds of people. You tell them that, okay, there's 24 hours of light. You really craft your message to suit them, and that's the essence of a guest persona. So if it's a question of maybe your hotel or your business is close to an event center, then that's also a very nice message to actually, definitely, if they have frequent events, there's a high chance that people travel from out of state to come and attend that event. So you cannot craft a message that is targeting those people. Oh, do you have an event around this area? Come over. You can come a day before, stay at our hotel, and then you can attend your event. Logistics options are also available to you. And then you list out all the different messages concerning your business. All right. So that's how you craft messages, but you must know who you're crafting the messages to. All right. So you need to also set SMART goals. All right. You need to set SMART goals. So what are SMART goals? SMART is a framework used to guide goal setting in digital marketing. So it must be specific, it must be measurable, it must be achievable, it must be relevant, and it must be time bound. Okay, so you don't just run adverts for the sake of running adverts. There's a place for that, actually. If it's a question of you want to just gain a sort of awareness for your business, there's a place for that. But even then, even when you're creating or you're making an advert for just to create an awareness of your business, you should still follow this framework. It should be specific, it should be measurable, achievable, relevant, and it must be time bound. So, for example, specific, what do we mean? A specific goal has to be clearly well defined. You must be able to answer the questions what, who, and why. Okay, so what service am I actually offering? So you are a hotel. What is it about your business that you really want to push out there? What is your unique selling proposition? What is it about your hotel or your business or your restaurant that stands out from every other business around you? Okay, so there must be something specific you are trying to push out there. Now, who are you targeting? Okay, who are the specific people that you're trying to get? And then why should they come to your business? All right, why should they come? So a goal that says, oh, you just want to get more guests, that's not a very specific goal. That's too broad. A better specific goal would be increase direct bookings through the website. Okay, so it's not just enough to say, oh, you want to get more guests. How do you want to get those guests? Do you want to get the guests through cold calling? Do you want to get it through email marketing? Do you want to get it through running ads? You want them to come through your website, or do you want them to communicate with you directly through WhatsApp, or is it through Instagram or Facebook? You want people to be able to reach you. So you need to have a specific goal as to how you want people to get across to you. Secondly, it must be measurable. All right. You must be able to track the progress using data or numbers. All right. So it's not just enough to say, oh, I want to improve my online presence. You must be able to say, I want to